Yo, what's up? What's up? It's the Hungry Millennial back again with yet another Proactive Pragmatism. On this next Proactive Pragmatism, we carry on with our series Millennials Are. This next millennial is humble, he's hungry, and highly motivated. He hails from Champaign, Illinois. He's a professional boxer, gym owner, and a fitness coach. And oh, yeah, he currently holds a record of 4-0 on the professional boxing circuit with 2 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you Nathan Luyando. Nate, what's going on, brother?
Oh man, not too much. She just got me at the end of a workout not too long ago. So
yeah, bro. You're always in the gym, man. You don't leave. You there right now, ain't you?
Yep, nonstop. Ran home, came back. That's pretty much the lifestyle.
Man, what does a typical day at the gym look like? Because you got to get your training in, right? When is your next fight?
My next fight is slated to be February 19th. Okay. So I got about a little less than a month and a half, but I'm ready.
Okay. And so, but how do you balance that? So when do you train, and then when do you train other people?
So I got my regular days, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday that I train with coach. And then outside of that, I go ahead and get pretty much my work from my open times pretty much. Whenever I got an opening, I just hop on the treadmill and it just loosens my mind up, and then I just get right to working.
Get to work. Okay. It's interesting. You said with coach, right? So The beautiful part about this gym that I want to highlight is it's just family everywhere. Cause you got your cousins there, you got your girl there, you got, so you got pops there, man. Like, and your pops, he brings a whole new level to, boxing and training, man. It's kind of crazy. Can you give a little bit of background about, the Luyando name and the gym and how it came to be?
Oh yeah, most definitely. He's the reason why I'm in here. So I'm always gonna show him the love that he definitely deserves. He started with my older brothers back in like '94. I was only 2 years old at the time, so I had really nothing to do with none of that. But they wanted to box, so he pretty much turned one of the bedrooms into the little training room. Okay. And from there, he built them into being state champions and all that stuff, going to regionals and nationals after that. And he was able to start training kids around the neighborhood and keep that going until he was able to open up a gym. And it was like some old mobile garage, old auto shop garage or whatever. And we went from there for a few years and just bounced around from place to place. And I feel like we found a home where we at right now, but it's part of the grind.
Yeah, man. Hey, and it's a nice home too, man. Like I'm being completely honest. Like, and a lot of people see some of my workouts and stuff that I post on the YouTube channel, and that gym is fantastic. Like I've never I had to when I did my first my first session at Luyando's, I had to quit Crunch Fitness because I was like, this gym is legit. Like it feels like a home. Like even when we came in, the energy that your pops, everybody having that many people that are a part of a legacy, that changes your whole workout session.
Yes, most definitely. And we've always had that environment. This gym right here, me and my lady Kaylee, we felt like Coach deserved this. He's been in business, like I said, since '94, and he's pretty much we've always been that hole in the wall gym. The spot that we had before this was probably a third of the size that we got right now, and it wasn't uncommon for us to really just break fire code in there, stuff it with 45 to 50 people in about 1,500 square foot building. Heat index would get up to 115 inside. We'll have to go outside in the summertime in 100-degree weather just to cool off. So,
bro, that sounds like Kuwait, just in a box with all those people, man. That's rough. But that's live, man, because it's at what point when y'all was in the garage was y'all we can make this a way bigger gym, a way bigger entity? because most, I'm gonna be completely honest, even most like small little gyms, like they don't have 50 people showing up.
Yeah, so he pretty much hit it from a different angle. He knows that when you train people, you got people that want to fight, you got people that just want to do it just to do it. So he pretty much implemented what he got going on right now, which is it's cardio based, but it's still technique based. So you learn the basics of all of everything, and from there, if you want to, start sparring and all of that stuff, we'll start easing you into the sparring, and pretty much just building it up from there, helping you get comfortable, and that's pretty much been the whole thing. Him making it a cardio base, making it a thing that somebody, with a crazy athletic background to somebody that just got off the couch, like he made it that kind of workout where anybody could do it.
Yeah, facts. And I want to highlight to the audience here, it's one of those things where like at Luyando's, like you've got people, like you've got little kids, then you've also got like, so you got the kid sessions going on, you got like older people sessions. You guys had the U of I boxing club out there. That's huge, man.
Yep.
Did your pop work at U of I, or how did that come apart?
Yeah, so he actually that's what got him stamped out here in down in Champaign. He's from the Bronx, New York. And my uncle got accepted into the U of I, and then he was a walk-on, I believe, for the gymnastics team. And they pretty much just he got my dad to come out here. My dad found a job at the U of I, and pretty much it was just set in stone that he wanted to stay here, because back at that time, New York was not the spot to be at.
Well, your dad has that swagger about him. He's got that New York swagger about him. Because we was the other day, like a couple of days ago, we was talking about, because I had taken a vacation trip, because I went to Cozumel, Honduras, and where else did I go? I went to Costa Maya. And he was like, he was talking about setting up in certain places. Like, oh yeah, I gotta watch my back when I'm over there, and I'm doing this. I'm like, yeah, Coach got that energy going on. He's a man though. Like, people are naive. Like, you need that type of energy,
Oh yeah,
because he's also like, a lot of people, when they go to a boxing gym, they're very intimidated by like the things that are going on and like how it's gonna go. Like, I'm a muscular guy, but like I'm there for cardio to have fun. Like, I ain't really there to spar, but it's teaching me calibration. Because I'm like, okay, if I do have to do something, I can put in that work, and then I can walk away and get out of there as quick as I possibly.
Yep, and that's what we look. That's what we want. We want everybody to be comfortable in scenarios, most definitely, but we want them to be ultimately comfortable sparring against, other people. And if they ever feel like they want to box, they could hold their own in a boxing match. And if that ever happens, to apply into the streets, then it got to happen.
You got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
But it's cool because it's like, also at that level, like you made so many things really, really fun. And so, what's shocking though is you're also 29 years old, and you're a part gym owner. And, it's one of those things like, what is it like running a gym at such a young age? Like, cause it's like, at 29, like I'm like, I still want to have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you balance the business and the play? I feel like that's tough.
Yeah, well, it's definitely something that's keeping me a little more focused with my professional career. It's keeping me in the gym, so it's giving me my time to like work out and lose myself within my workout. But outside of that, it's just a learning curve throughout the whole thing. Everything I'm just adapting, trying to find out, like we talked about earlier, my times to work out and do my thing. But, I'm 29 years old. I know I don't know everything about boxing, but I know enough, and I've done it long enough to that people puts the trust in me to help them, learn how to get comfortable using their hands. Yep. So that's something that keeps me humble. And it's something I did for a long time. So it was just that training part was a little easy going, because by like 10, 11 years old, I was already teaching other kids that came in their boxing stance. And then by 12, 13, I was teaching adults, their boxing stance. So it kind of started coming natural as I started jumping into the classes and running them. And just taking over this new spot is just, it's fun.
It's a lot. And it's amazing. And the thing is like, that takes a lot of humility, right? Because when people do see me, they're like, okay, he doesn't look like somebody that can't defend himself. But at the same time, one of the biggest things that like helps me every day is no matter what age, you got people in there that's like, hey, bro, your stance should be like this a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I love learning like that because it's powerful. It's like somebody who you can learn from anybody.
Yep.
And somebody who is 15, 16 years old can teach you a lot about life that you ain't never seen because we all have different experiences. Like at first it was a little, it was a little annoying, right? When you first get in there, because I'm like, okay, like I don't really know her or this person, and I'm hearing this and I'm hearing that. And then, coach comes around, he's like, okay, Tommy, look, do this. This is why we doing this. And when y'all explain technique and y'all break it down, like it makes it so much more simple and you get a lot more out of what you're doing. And so you talked about, doing it at what, 10, 12 years old. So what was the process of going pro? How did that start and what does that look like?
So going pro, it's pretty much way different than what I went through as an amateur. When I was in the amateur, if I saw somebody in my weight class fighting, this week, at a show, and he looking good or whatever, chances are if we at the same show next week, we about to fight. Mm-hmm. As of right now, just because I'm really trying to build up, a resume and build myself up, I'm in a circuit where a lot of people is trying to do the same thing, and there just happens to be a lot of people in my weight class. And I'm so used to like, man, next time I come, I'm about to fight him. But they really trying to further their career, and they don't want me to hinder their career by giving them a loss or vice versa or whatever. So it's almost like we're not avoiding each other, but we'd rather fight each other at a higher level where there's a better game for both of us.
Wow. So it's not like, because like college football, sometimes they'll pay people to come to certain games,
yep.
so they can put the thing on them. But it's like that's some real strategy, and that takes a lot of discipline, right?
Yeah.
Because you see all the movies and stuff, people are like, yeah, I want him. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's like, and the truth is boxing, on the shorts, I got the shorts on right now. You know what I'm saying? We ain't no boxing, the sweet science. It's really a sweet science because you have to know your limitations and, where you succeed at, your strengths. Like that's really hard, but it seems like, that you kind of play that mental game. What weight class are you in right now?
I'm a 147. That's welterweight.
Okay.
I'm one of the taller ones at 6 foot with a 76-inch wingspan. So.
Bro, like your reach is insane. Like I'm like, if he just keep these people at bay a little bit, like that's the hardest part. And so, I think a lot of people when they think about like, having like, long arms, they think headshots. So what do you like more, body shots or headshots, and why?
I definitely like the body shots because it's a term. It's just flattening the tire. So you got somebody that got some speed on them or whatever, and they got a lot of energy, whatever. You throw a nice few body shots that's gonna land heavy. You're gonna wear the legs down, essentially flattening the tires, and you're gonna make that mover a stable target and whatever, and you're able to do what you do more comfortably and all of that stuff. Okay. So I'm a mover in the ring. So a lot of people try to flatten my tires, especially like when I get the brawlers and stuff. So it's all part of the chess match.
Well, and so in that being said, would you say the body shots are more lethal than the headshots are?
Oh yeah. So it's like one of them things. So say I was in a match, whatever, and this dude knocked me out with a headshot. I don't remember. All I just got the knowledge is he hit me with a good shot. So I'm always gonna have that thought, like I kind of want to fight him again. But somebody hit me with a body shot where I feel like they just like touched my spine from my stomach. Like that's something that you're always gonna remember. And who done hit you with some clean body shots, and the headshot, you kind of shake that off because it's part of the game. But when you get hit to the body, you're like, yo, I don't know if I signed up for this part, right?
Well, and that's kind of fascinating because everybody kind of thinks they're like, yeah, KO him, knock him out, like these different things. And it's like you can, and one thing I was learning was like you can kind of KO somebody from body shots.
Yep.
And you know what I'm saying? Like people think headshot is a KO, but you hit him KO body shot, he might not never get back up.
Oh yeah, certain placements of the body shot would take the breath away for about the whole 10-second count, 15 seconds after that. So it's just like people is into hyperventilating when they get hit in the right spot or when they get caught breathing in. So body shots is definitely more devastating. Headshots, you know, it's all highlights and it's all flashy and all of that stuff, but it's a moving target, so it gets annoying trying to hit something that moves all the time.
Yeah, bro. You know, okay, just I'm gonna segue off a little bit real quick. So how do you feel about, because you are boxing, you know, so you've been doing this since you was in diapers, really. So the truth is, how do you feel about the celebrity boxing ring with, you know, the Paul brothers and, you know what I'm saying, all that stuff, how that's going? Because it's kind of moving in a weird direction, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie, it made me look back into boxing and be like, okay, what's actually going on in regular boxing?
Yep. And I'm always open-minded about everything, as long as it's bringing shedding a light onto the sport and a positive notion. Then I'm definitely for it. Like he got Paul, what's his name, Jake Paul, whatever his name is. He got Amanda Serrano. She's pretty much the Pacquiao of the women's boxing, and he's put her in position to make the most money that she's ever made outside of whatever promotional company that she's in. So he's definitely doing things for the women's side of boxing, from what I'm reading and all of that stuff. And you know, it's like you said, it's shedding a light on boxing. You know, bringing people to, some people that, you know, want to see it. Some people will want to know about the history of boxing, and they'll look and find out like, oh man, this guy's nice. Who's Sugar Ray Leonard? Let me see who he is, type of thing.
Right. Well, and that I never knew that. Like, I just learned something new. We was talking about the process of learning, and that is, I mean, that's fantastic, because a lot of times, like, women's sports get, you know what I'm saying, they get looked over, you know what I'm saying? And so by him bringing somebody else along, it shows you playing the long game and being strategic. That's ultimate strategy right there.
Yeah.
Like, people see, because people want to see the instant stuff. Go ahead, brother.
Oh yeah, no, and you know, he's doing all his antics being, you know, this jackass or whatever, but he's like deep down, he's doing some things. I guess he sees a flaw in the UFC world, so he's trying to get fighters to get what they deserve, essentially. And we've seen that in all sports where fighters or where athletes are pretty much, you know, petitioning, trying to get money that they feel like they deserve. In the NBA, you've seen that they had the lockout. NFL had their lockouts and all of that stuff. So it's just about getting what you deserve, because sports bring in a lot of revenue, and you gotta make sure you get your fair share.
That's facts. And they're always evolving, right? Like, the UFC may not, with all this conversation and all the money that's being brought into, you know, the boxing segment, some big company may come and create a whole nother UFC where they get paid at the biggest level. Because the fighters are there. They just don't have, like, it's just a monopoly right now, right? When you think mixed martial arts, when you think, you know, fighting, you think UFC now.
Yep.
Like, nobody was. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, and that's where, like, business wise, Dana White, he got it held down. Like, when you think MMA, you think UFC, and like when you take it to the boxing world, you think boxing. You have ESPN that got Top Rank, and then you got like PBC that be on Showtime and all this other stuff. So there's not really a monopoly in boxing like there is in the mixed martial art world. So that's why you don't really get to see the top names fight each other, because they got promotional issues or whatever in boxing.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting. Just a quick sidebar. I know we kind of sidebar here, but how do you? So, like, at first I wasn't a Mayweather fan. But I realized what he did from a branding standpoint and a monetary standpoint. Like, he can get out there and make moves, like, for the sport of boxing, right? Because in my mind, and I'm not a boxing savant, you know, I'm just a guy that has a gym membership at Luyando's, and it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, when I think boxing, I think, you know what I'm saying, I think, you know, Ali, I think Mike Tyson, and I think Mayweather. But those three people they do completely different things when it comes to the game of boxing. So how do you think Mayweather has really played, you know, a major role in the game of boxing today?
So he honestly put out that blueprint on how to play the business side of it, because you know, as boxers, we just get in the ring and we do what we do. But he looked back at what happened to Mike Tyson. Why did he go bankrupt or whatever? You know, what happened with his money and all of that. So, and same thing with Ali. You know, what happened with his money. So Mayweather wanted to capitalize on his capital, and he put the blueprint out he bought himself out of his contract that he had with Top Rank HBO at the time, and he just took a gamble on himself, and then he started becoming Money Mayweather, the one that you see now.
Yeah, that's next level, man. Like you talk about money moves, like the contracts in every sport these days are changing. So MMA, they gon' UFC, I think they're gonna really get their shot. You know what I'm saying, to make different things happen.
Oh yeah, and it's on the wave right now. It's really popular. So whenever they, if that happens, I'd be interested in seeing what comes about of it, because they taking a punishment. They should get paid if they're not getting paid.
Well, facts, and that's even bigger when you talk about, because people talk about CTE when it comes to like basketball, when it comes to football. It's one of those things where like people have been putting their life on the line in boxing for so long, and everybody else is making the money off of it. Yep. People on the side like, oh yeah, hey, they're gonna get them in this round. They're gonna do, you know what I'm saying? Making money. I mean, you take that back to, like, your pops is from the Bronx, but you take that back to early, Irish versus, the Italians versus all of these different things versus, and it's like all these people was making money, but homeboy who was in the ring actually giving the shots and taking the shots, running miles and miles and miles, getting his cardio up. Rocky wasn't making no money. Like the real Rocky, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't making no bread. So that's really dope. Did you check out the how do you feel about the most recent Creed movies?
So I did see the last Creed movie. That was definitely good. I'm enjoying the Creeds more than I did the Rocky, because I feel like it's just a little more boxing being displayed in the Creeds. Rocky, the story, and it's a cult classic or whatever, but being the type of boxer I am, sometimes that style, him taking punches like that, is just a little cringeworthy to watch. So.
And you don't know what you don't know when you watching those. I'm like, oh yeah, Rock could take it. Well, like then you get to boxing, it's like you see it, and you're like, you're not supposed to be taking that many shots.
Yep.
Like some don't add up here. Like you can get Italian stallion all you want, but your life chances ain't. Like Ali, you watch his form, he dodging them bad boys.
Yep.
A lot of people, they talk about Mayweather, how he be, dodging. But Ali was the king of dodging and putting you in a position that you don't want to be in.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it's supposed to be. Hit and don't be hit. And don't get me wrong, Mayweather definitely used to be offensively sound. Go back to the Pretty Boy days, Pretty Boy Floyd. Yeah. He definitely was offensively sound, letting the hands go. And longevity of the sport is gonna make you your money. So he became that defensive wizard that he always was, but he just really, put it down to a T. And I guess in a sense of, combat, you want to see people boxing and fighting and blood and all that stuff. But he put the science to work, and that's you can't argue against that
at all. That sweet science is everything. And just real quick, before you went pro, tell the people how many fights you had to have before you went pro, because your dad was telling me like there was cats that had to do 100+ fights before they actually got a chance to even think pro.
Oh yeah, I was a shade under 100. No ifs and stuff. I went to school though, so I would have had more, but I chose to go to school and did my thing there. Came back, had a couple of amateur fights that bumped me up in 90s or whatever, and then I just went pro after that. But my brother, he had about 150 to 200 fights. They keep talking about one of the top boxers in the pros right now, Lomachenko. He had 400+ amateur fights and only lost one or something. So it's a lot of them. It really depends on how far you're trying to take it. If you're one of them good fighters and you've been doing it for a long time and you want to make a career, then you're going to put yourself in a position where somebody's going to see you. And that's essentially what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to get seen.
Okay. I mean, you got, you got the swagger, you got the Facebook talk, you got, you got the humility too, man. It's huge. It's kind of a different shade. Like sometimes, like I'm like, okay, there go Nate. He talking that talk, and then I'm like, oh, okay, there go Nate. He chilling, he learning, he doing his thing. So I gotta respect it.
Oh yeah.
How many fights a year is that? Like, are you like to build up from the amateur level? Are you talking about like taking 30 fights a year, or what is that?
So yeah, in the amateurs, especially when I was coming up, it wasn't uncommon for us to fight this week, next week, and if somebody called them the week after that. So Yeah, so we always stay busy. So it really just depends on your coach and how many shows and how much he believes you got. So if he feel like if my dad felt like I took a lot of punishment in my last fight, he might hold me off for the next couple of fights, fight other people, fight my teammates and all that stuff. But I might sit back and then I'll come back around, 2 fights later, whether it's 2 months or 3-4 weeks. I came from trying to fight in the amateurs about 8 times a year at least. To now in the pros, I got to be a little more conservative, I guess. That's what they do. But I'm definitely trying to fight in the pros about 8 times. I'm 29 years old, so I'm trying to put a pep in the step right now.
Okay, I can respect that. And so when you talk about that pep in the step, who when you think boxing, who are your favorite boxers of all time, and who inspires you to keep that pep in that step, and why?
So definitely, I'm half Puerto Rican. So
Okay.
Felix Trinidad Tito, he
Okay.
that's been the national hero for Puerto Rico. So I've always grown up watching him. His offensive style, his seek and destroy style is definitely something to watch. But when he was younger in his career, he was a boxer. Like he had nice in and out footwork and all of that stuff. He just fell in love with his power. So he got to knocking people out, and he's like, oh, I can do this. So let me do that.
That's
So
that. And the dopest part about Tito, when you mention him, like he is he's a multiple world champion, in 3 different weight classes.
Yep.
That is insane. Like, and then he defeated De La Hoya in what, 1999?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the man is crazy. Like, go ahead, bro. But I found that fascinating when I was doing my research. I'm like, man, this dude is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, he definitely was like I said, he was a puncher, but he had the skills to box. He just fell in love with that power, and carrying up in weight, that power starts to go away when you start fighting them bigger dudes. And that was pretty much his downfall, relying on his power, forgetting that he could box. But he definitely got some moves that I tried to take from his game.
Okay.
And but it was always him. Growing up watching, it was always him. But when I used to got into the studying of boxing, looking at people like Pernell Whitaker, his defense is second to none, and the way he's able to just throw shots from any angle that his body's at. That's stuff that I do, and that's stuff that I see him do, and I really enjoy watching that when I'm watching Sweet Pea.
Well, and Sweet Pea is like he's outstanding because like he also like doesn't he hold like the most boxing history like title defenses? Like he's got like 6 in a lightweight championship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That
And he'll put his head down and just side to side, just making you miss, hit that little drunken motion, and just just go to work.
That's awesome. And so like when it comes to like title fights, because I never really understood this, because people they would get the HBO stuff, and I looked through the window because I was poor. And so I'm checking out, what I'm saying, like the boxing and stuff like that. How many times does the average, champion have to defend their title within like a year or like 5-year span, or how does that work?
So it's from what I've seen, growing up watching the pros, it seems like those champions always fought 2 to 3 times a year. They're always in a 6 to 10 week training camp. So that takes, a lot of the time. And then that 12-round fight, just constantly, going back and forth, they're going to need that time off. So it's definitely about 2 to 3 times. You might see somebody fight 4 times, like Canelo this year. He fought 4 times, just on a mission. And it really depends on the mission that individual is on.
Okay. And that's pretty dope. And I think that, that brings us, to a segue to, the end of this interview. I hear them getting after it in the background, what I'm saying? And, I don't want to hold you for too much, too long of a time. But if you had to like leave us with your, fitness philosophy, what would that be?
Always, listen to your body. Definitely train and do the best that you can. Take everything at your level, because injuries is real. Injuries are real, so you want to just take everything at your pace. Don't try to follow the person that's next to you. Just do what you do, and it's just going to build as long as you trust the process.
Okay. And then real quick, go ahead and plug the gym. You know what I'm saying? Where they can find you, what your location, your address is, and things like that.
Yeah, we in Champaign, Illinois. Luyando Boxing, 52 East Washington Street. I see the Instagram and the Facebook page is scrolling under. So catch us on at Luyando Boxing on Instagram, and then we got the Luyando Boxing and Fitness on Facebook. You can catch us everywhere. And my next fight, February 19th.
Where's it at, brother? Where's it at?
It's supposed to be in Louisville.
Louisville. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be overseas, but I wish you all the best. You know what I'm saying, from Africa, and I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, Nate. Thank you so much.
Most definitely, thank you. And anytime, I hope this was some good content.
Yeah, bro. I mean, look, hey, it's always a pleasure when I can have somebody that's out here, you know what I'm saying, making a path, putting in the work, and leaving a legacy. So we appreciate you, brother.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Luyando.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.